How's that?
That's good.
Oh, what is up, Internet? I'm here with Kevin Hartline of Amp Energy still,
Amp Energy
Yeah.
still, yeah.
How long you been working with Amp Energy?
9 years now.
9
We're going
years.
on 9 years, yeah.
How'd you get into that?
Well, I had a business partner that got me into it. So we started out industrial construction was our line of work we were going to do. And he started working with me and saw me putting contacts and people together. And he said, man, you should make a business out of this. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't really want that headache. You know, I live comfortable, but he pretty persistent.
I don't want no money.
Yeah,
Nah,
I didn't want the headache, you know. I didn't want the hassle. And about a year of him, it was a solid year of him pressuring, saying, hey, let's start a business doing this. So I finally said, fine, yeah, let's do it. And, you know, we got started and got going, got our first job, got our second job, and we've not really looked back. We said we'd evaluate it in 5 years. You know, we'll do this for 5 years, see what it looks like. Year one, I was sold. Let's keep doing it. Yeah.
Son, that's got year one be nice. That's crazy. So was there any growing pain, or was it just like, no, we got this. This is gravy?
Totally growing pain. We thought we had it in the beginning. We did our first couple jobs. We said, oh, yeah, we keep doing this. We've got it. But, yeah, growing pains. We didn't understand business at all. We didn't know what to do. So you had a huge learning curve, you know. And so after the learning curve even, and you got it all figured out, so we were ramping up. And you ramp up, we got up to 30 local employees. We had another 20, 25 or so that traveled 5-6 months out of the year on top of those 30. And those were the growing pain years. And that was only 2 years ago. That was recent.
Good God. So 9 years, and then so it was growing pains for 7 of them.
Absolutely. The first 3-4 years, the first 4 years was tough. The first year we did really well. And we said, oh, this is great. You know,
Okay, cut the volume down.
We have more years like this. It's going to be great. And so year 2, we come out, we do sales more, we push harder, we pour all into it. Year 2 sucked. Year 3 sucked. Year 4
kind of sucked.
We got about 3/4 of the way through the year. It really started picking up. Business started picking up. We weren't starving to death anymore. But years 4 to now, it's been different growing pains, but still growing pains. But we've got it all figured out now.
I'm going to tell you something that I just learned about you, Kevin. Okay. You have a voice for radio, man.
Really?
Yeah, you sound like a radio guy.
I've done a radio thing before.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, Cindy's Choice.
What is that?
Cindy's Choice was she was a marketing thing. She did marketing and wanted me to come on and do the podcast. It was just like this. We did a podcast up in Chattanooga. She was doing it with local businesses, and I forget the girl that was there with me. But we did a podcast together. We talked about Amp Energy. We talked about the industry and business in the area, and it was cool, you know. But
that's cool, man.
Did that year 1.
I didn't know that. That's
absolutely
neat. What would you say was the hardest thing? Was it hiring people, getting them to travel? Why was it so hard? What made that first couple of years so rough? Like, why was that a hard thing?
Well, the first couple of years was hard, just trying to get work, you know, trying to convince somebody, because we deal in a big industrial market. We're not catering to small business. We're not catering to locals. We're not catering to mom and pops. We were catering to large contractors. We're catering to International Paper, West Rock Paper, Georgia Pacific, large poultry plants, you know, heavy industrial construction was our target. And when you're 2 guys, just a mom and pop yourself, trying to get into a big market like that, nobody wants to give you a chance. They don't want to give you a shot, especially brand new. You know, year 1, you tell them, because you can't lie about it. You can't say, hey, I've been in business 10 years. You haven't. You can look all this stuff up. They vet you, and you can't lie about that. So nobody wants to give you a shot. It takes a few years to get your feet wet and show some good quality projects turned out before anybody wants to give you anything.
And I understand that, and you'll see it on like job applications. Like it's a running joke kind of, but it's like must have 10 years of experience. You know what I mean? Why? How do you get so much experience and not? How do they expect people to have so much experience, but like they're not old enough to have it? Like how are you 28 years old and got 20 years of experience?
That's exactly right.
That's not a possibility.
It's not a possibility at all. It was the same when I started my craft of work. I'm a Boilermaker, pipe fitter, welder by trade. That's my craft. Non-union. I didn't start in a union. I started at the bottom from the ground up. I was a laborer when I started this work. Started with a local company, National Boiler Service out of Trenton, Georgia. Great company to work for. You know, National Boiler was good to me. Had a good career there. But I tried to branch out, starting out a couple years experience, you're trying to go other places when National Buller does not have something for you to do because it's all temporary seasonal work. And so you'd call these other contractors out there and nobody wanted to give you a shot. You got to have at least 5 years experience.
Yeah.
And how are you supposed to get that 5 years if nobody wants to give it to you?
Yeah.
It was tough, but it was good money. It was, I had no education. I'm a high school dropout. And
same.
Yeah. I mean, my business partner is a high school dropout. We're a very successful company now. There's nothing shabby about us now at all. We have $2.4 million of gross revenue. That was year before last. We scaled back last year, 12 people now. But yeah, I mean, we're successful and no high school education.
I would say I'm as far as me, like no high school education. I dropped out in like 9th or 10th grade.
Yeah, 10th grade for me.
I'm very, very happy of very proud of what I did with the fights and stuff. Super,
absolutely,
incredibly proud. I would say we're a success as far as like how we made them 3 letters matter because the AFC carries some weight, and some people will say different, but a lot of people won't.
Yeah.
When people talk about fights, they're like, "Well, is it Sam's?" Like, well, no, it's not. So you're gonna have to go to some shittier show now because we're out.
Yeah.
I think we're successful in that sense. That 2.4 million or billion. How much? What did you say?
Million. 2.4 million.
Any illion is
gross revenue.
Fucking awesome. Any illion is
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. That would be awesome. That's amazing. That's very cool to know, especially knowing that you didn't go to high school, no college. Just, hey, man, we're going to bump this shit out. That's cool,
no
man. No
college, no funding. We're all totally self-funded. Neither one of us have money. We're both poor. We grew up from poor families. But the thing we knew was our families weren't doing it right, and so we said there's got to be a different way.
Yeah.
If we follow the same path that the people in our family have followed, how are we going to turn out any different?
We're going to have no money. Our kids going to have no money.
Because we have, the area that we live in. I'm not saying anything bad about the area we live in at all. But if you look at the people around our area, if you look at your family and your uncles and your brothers and your cousins and the generations before them, what did they do for a living? Did they ever get a retirement? Did they retire early enough to enjoy it? And were they happy with what they did? Or did they work till the day they died and they drew Social Security? What did they do? And you can't follow that same game plan and expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity.
Insane.
Yeah.
My granddad was a truck driver, right? Ended up being a big guy. They called him Big Mac at B&G Trucking out of Albertville. When I was young, me and my granddad were real close. When I got a little older, my granddad wasn't taking care of himself. And I do think that was because of him being a trucker. I don't think they're all not taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
But I just think the way he was running, he wasn't taking baths good. You know, if he needed to pee, he'd get a bottle.
That's right.
And do all this. Now,
because that's what everybody does.
Yeah,
that's just what people do.
Yeah, and then he got into that habit also at home. So I wasn't taking my kids over there.
Yeah.
I don't think his retirement was great. He owned a trailer at first, but he ended up dying in an apartment that he was renting. And I don't remember. I just don't think his retirement was that good. And from what a lot of people say is like well, truckers make the world go round.
Yeah.
Well, why is that guy in such god awful shape? Because I don't remember him just spending money. Now that man liked to eat.
Yeah.
He put food away, man.
I feel him. I feel him on
same.
that.
We ate good today.
Yeah, we
ate good every time you come up, man.
Good every time, man.
I tried to make the hamburger steaks with the gravy and the peppers onion. I tried to make it a couple of times. I ain't so good at it. That's my favorite thing you make. What are the pros and cons of a union?
So pros, there are both, and you have a lot of people that are hardline stance on one side or the other. I hate the union. I'm non-union, or I'm pro-union. There's only union. I'm a good middle ground guy on this because I've done both. I started non-union. I worked my way up until I joined the union. I stayed for 1 year. I was in the pipe fitters local for 1 year out of Gadsden. Pros are as a business owner or as a worker, because there's different pros and cons.
I think as a worker first.
You're going to get an education. They're going to put you through an apprenticeship. You start out with a retirement setup. You have an annuity. You have retirement. You have benefits and insurance out the gate. Once you put your time in and you get vested, which is not a long period of time, before you can start getting this stuff. Before you can draw your retirement, it's 5 years, but that's the duration of the apprenticeship as well. So you're going to start out when you immediately go into the craft having some kind of retirement, vacation, insurance going towards you. You're going to get your insurance in like 90 days. You're going to have insurance. Non-union, you don't have any of that. there's a big misconception out there of a wage discrepancy from union to non-union. Now, me, I worked for specialty contractors. After I left the National Boiler era, I moved on up to contractors that worked in a specialized field of these plants. They were not working on the lower end stuff. We were working on high end parts, high end equipment, high end piping. So it paid a lot more. So there was no wage discrepancy with me being non-union versus union, but people like to say there's a big wage discrepancy. Well, if you're working with a company that's sweeping the floors or working on the junk parts of the plant, there's going to be a wage discrepancy, you know, and the union people are going to get better wages. But, you know, what I was working on, I was getting better wages than what the union guys were getting. I just didn't have any retirement. I didn't have any insurance. I had no vacation. I had no job steward standing up for my rights. It was, you know, you're fired and you can't come back. We're firing you for this. I got fired one time from National Boiler Service. The only time I've ever been fired. And it was because I would not agree to do something that I deemed unsafe. That would have never happened in a union shop. You know, I would have voiced my concerns about what was going on in the safety factor there, and it would have just never happened. I would have kept my job. I wouldn't have got fired. As it stood, it was a foreman saying, you know, this guy refused to do his job. And I said, yeah, you know, I'm not doing that. I feel like it's going to get this guy hurt under me. I'm not going to risk that. It can wait. And so he said, well, superintendent said, yeah, he refused to do his job. I'm sticking behind my GF, cut him loose.
Good God.
Wasn't a big deal, you know. You was able to roll right to another job. Never affected me in any way. But there are those pros and cons of the union, you know. They're both there. You get a better education on the union side than you would on the non-union side. And those are the biggest ones, you know, insurance, retirement, better education right out the gate, because it's up to you in the non-union world.
To figure all that out.
You got to want to do better. You got to say, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. He's doing it right. He's getting stuff done. In the union world, they have a set of standards that they hold you to. And it's what the non-union shops should do, but they don't. It's up, it's up to you to...
It's a little under the table.
Yeah, a little under the table. It's up to you to look at somebody and say, hey, yeah, this cat's doing it right. You know, I'm going to pay attention to what he does and do stuff his way. And I was lucky enough to pick good people. You know, they were doing stuff right. I picked good people. I learned from a good group of guys, hard workers. A little tough getting used to construction work, though. I was a high school kid. I dropped out of high school, started at 18, and they were rough back then. So it's not like it is now. You know, these guys are coddled. If I talk to my guys, the way these guys talk to me, they'd quit in a minute.
I'll tell you a funny story. Now I ain't done a lot of construction, but at one point I was a do boy. You know what I mean?
They get the brunt of it too.
Yeah, if someone
get the brunt of it.
Someone wanted me to go pick some shit up and set it down, I was picking it up and setting it down.
I did a lot of that.
Yeah. So man, it was hot in the summer.
Yeah.
So they had us a water cooler out there, and I was young. I was 15, 16. I was living on my buddy's couch, you know, and we was building this real nice house over behind Burger King in Rainsville. Yeah. Big, nice place. We was building onto it and stuff. I was picking shit up and setting it down. You know what I mean? So I asked my boss one day, and he was cool, man. He would talk to me about fights, and you know, ever since I was young, I want to be around fights and stuff. So I've always been talking about it, you know. Yeah. And so I was running my mouth and shit like that, and we got to talking, and we just talked. And I said to him one day, I said, "Hey, man, where are y'all going?" He goes, "We're on a lunch." He goes, "You want to go?" I was like, "No, I'm good." I said, "But that swimming pool over there is the guy's swimming pool up there." I said, "Can I get in there?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, just be out and ready to work by the time we get back." I don't think he thought I was serious, because on my lunch break, I took my shit off and I jumped in that pool.
It was hot.
No, the damn owner of the house walked up, and I didn't know it was him. And he goes, "Hey, man, where's them guys at?" And I said, "I don't know, man. I'm just chilling. Wait on." I said, "I'm just waiting on lunch to be over with." And he went up to my boss. And he did say something. Boss said, "Sam, did you really get in that pool?" I said, or no, he called a meeting. He said, "Guys, somebody was in the pool on lunch. Don't be doing."
Not gonna say who it was.
Yeah, he said, "Don't be doing that shit no more." And we was like, "Yes, sir, yes, sir." And so a few days go by, and man, again, it was hot. And like, you know how cold that water is when it's like fucking 110 degrees outside. That water's good.
Good.
So they asked me to go fill up the ice bucket, the water bucket, and I did. Well, while I was back there, I realized it was a bucket full of ice and water. I was 15, 16. What are you going to do? I ducked my head all the way in it.
Oh, in the drinking water.
And I shook it back, and I looked over, and my boss was right around the corner. He goes, and I went, "It's just hot, man." I took it back up there. My boss whispered something to this burly cat, and I thought for sure he's going to kick my ass off the job site. He didn't. He goes, ducked his head in it, and he goes, He ducked his fucking head in it. And the burly guy goes, it's hot. Took him a drink, man. I've seen him around at gas stations. I don't think he recognized me, but like it was just, I don't know, man. It's just hot as shit.
Yeah.
It was hot out there. What would you say has been how hard? So this is an area where people do smoke pot.
Yeah.
They do drink. They smoke pretty heavy.
Oh man, the guys when you're talking about that, the guys when I got started, the drugs were prevalent. You had to stay away from that. Yeah, I mean that stuff was everywhere.
Well, what I mean is like, how is it making it hard for you to hire people? How is that? Would you rather have? Is it making it hard to hire people first off?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't care what a man does as far as smoking grass on his own time. That's his own business. As long as he's not smoking grass on my jobs, that part of it I don't frown on quite so much. And you know, my customers may hate to hear that, but I don't really care. But pill heads, dopers, methamphetamine, methadone, I'm not dealing with that at all. And yes, it does make it hard to hire people because there's a lot of it out there. I'm not dealing with any of that at all. You know, there's going to be none of that with my employees, and it does make it hard to hire people.
But you are saying though, people that smoke pot are usually just, hey, yeah, it helps me relax a little bit.
It does, man. If a man can go home, I am not against it at all. I think it is a prohibition that's lasted too long in America.
Safer than drinking.
It's safer than drinking. I'm not worried about anybody out there on the highway. You know, I know several people that they go and they get them a 12 pack and they get them a bottle of whiskey and they sit right beside them and they tool up and down these roads.
Hell yeah, they do.
Is it illegal? Yeah, absolutely. But can they go in the store and purchase it and endanger not only my life, but the wife of my child, my girlfriend? Yeah, they can do that. Do I worry about a man smoking a joint going out there doing it? Absolutely not.
I know a guy in Ider. I ain't going to say his name. Nice as can be. I've never had a negative interaction with him.
Yeah.
Never. My uncles would know him. The Browns, we'll talk about them in a little bit. But I've never seen him without a beer in his hand.
Yeah.
Ever. Now, if I'm drinking, I ain't driving.
No.
My wife drives me.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I have a great wife.
Yeah.
My wife drives me, and if it's a very, very rough day, I've tied one on, and Vicky's tired of it, I'll get Kira to drive me.
Still safer.
Yeah, it's much better than me doing it.
Yeah, no, I think the marijuana prohibition is something that's lasted too long. I think it's something that people put into place in the government just to what I honestly feel like is it was the paper industry that put this prohibition into place,
like hemp and stuff.
Yeah, I think it because hemp grows. So you had a logging conglomerate, you had a logger who had all these vast acres of land who petitioned the government to get hemp outlawed. And it just so happened that the drug war was not far behind that, you know, but the outlawing of the hemp was where it all started. When our founding fathers started this country, you had farmland, you were required to grow hemp. You can do so many things with it. What you can produce in a year of hemp would replace 10 years of growth in pine trees as far as the paper industry right now. And so that's where it all started. You had a logging conglomerate petition the government. They said, oh, yeah, we're going to make this outlaw.
Hey, we need our money, too.
Yeah, we need our money. So they get their buddies in the government to outlaw hemp, you know, something that's been a staple in our country since the beginning of our country. And marijuana was just a part of that. I don't think
you know George Washington had hemp teeth. No, they were wood.
Yeah.
I think
that's a misconception.
People do, what do you mean? Go ahead. Talk on it.
I think that's a misconception. I don't think he had wood teeth. I think I saw that on a fact checker thing.
I think I did see that too. It was just marijuana nugs.
They say But yeah, I think it's something that's been around too long. I think it's outdated. It needs to go away.
Who's the president that had like a black baby mama that he hid in the White House long time ago when there were slaves and stuff?
Oh, I'm sure there's more than one.
I think it was Thomas Jefferson.
Might have been. I'm sure there's more than one.
But there's a hidden room in the White House, and that's just where he kept her. She's a pretty black slave lady, and he was just, hey man, it's cool, you know, but y'all need to get to work. She needs to come in here and clean this shit up. And he'd be like, you ain't got to clean that, baby. It's hot. He's doing her dirty.
Yeah, I don't think they did everything right back then for sure.
I don't think things are done right now.
No way.
Like where we live, you know, I'm trying to do the Alabama grapevine. I think that's going to turn into something really cool.
Yeah. And
I'm doing that partly because, first off, I want to help people. I want to help people just like me. Because when I was starting my business, I couldn't get a loan at the bank. I still can't.
Absolutely.
Not a loan that mattered.
That's right.
I needed, realistically, for me to have grown my business to what I know it could have been. Because like, there's only so much me preaching about fights and me putting good fights together and me having, there's only so much of that that's only gonna go so far. I needed about $100,000.
Yeah.
If I could have put $100,000 into it, holy shit, it'd have been the craziest thing
And
anybody's
you
ever
had a
seen.
great thing, man.
Yeah,
I got to brag on the
Thank
AFC.
you, thank you.
Like we were talking about earlier before we started, I'd stopped watching fights. Came to one of your shows. I saw the first AFC.
Yeah,
And for some reason or another, I missed from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
I missed 2, 3, and 4.
we had the caution tape around the ring at the first one. Remember?
Yeah, I do. I remember the first one. I watched it, and it was cool. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. For a local hometown show, your first show. It was cool. But for some reason, I missed 2, 3, and 4. May have been traveling, working, whatever the case may be. But I come back as either 4 or 5. I came back and watched. Man, you had blown up. It was amazing. Singing your praises, telling all my buddies, you guys got to go watch his shows. This show was fantastic, and every show thereafter did nothing but got better.
It was so stressful. There was no money. There were so many times where I went, we're not going to get to have this show because we don't have any dollars. All of a sudden, we get it. We just get it. But every show was a losing effort as far as money.
Yeah.
I never filed a loss. I probably could file a huge loss, but every show, I wasn't looking at the government for hands out for it, so I ain't gonna ask them for handouts with it after it.
Well, I can promise you they had their hand out for you.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, they've got their hand out everywhere.
Now, I never asked. I never filed a loss, and I could have probably filed a huge one, but I just I know if I could have got like a small loan, it could have turned into a really, really big thing. We could have got better. Not necessarily better stuff. We had almost everything we needed because we was buying it and buying it and buying it. But eventually, it was just like, dude, you're hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
Like you're just bleeding money out. And I was losing my hair. It's hard to, a lot of, I tell the stories all the time. I was robbed at the Coleman show. Someone popped our, not the Coleman show. It was, it wasn't Coleman. It was like the 3rd or 4th show, but we had the money box, man.
Yeah.
And someone popped that top on that damn thing, man. They took all that. They took the money out.
Oh, I've heard several instances of different things to where you've lost money throughout the years in the course of that.
And it was just like,
it's hard to recover from something like that when you're small. You're talking about the small
there
amount
was no rich
that you
backer.
could possibly put something in your pocket or make your next show better, give yourself a little cushion.
Nothing.
But you don't get that cushion. Here you are trying to buy mats or trucks and pay the cage off, and you need a new floor and you need new pads.
And we got lucky on the box truck and the cage. Not the box truck. The box truck I got gifted from my grandparents.
That's cool.
They $3,000 on the box truck. And then actually Corey Caldwell over at Willow Tree, he was trying to help us. He did want to help us. There was things he wanted to do. You've sponsored the shows and stuff. There were sponsors. I can't say there wasn't. We're just saying what I mean is there's so much money in this area that people aren't going around unless it's a food city.
Yeah.
And we needed some of that food city money, man.
Yeah.
Corey Caldwell called me one day, asked what I owed on the cage. And I told him, man, he went up there and, man, he paid that thing off. And I was like, I wouldn't have been able to have a show if you didn't do that, because they was every month like clockwork. It was taking my money out, man. It was just.
I never could do that much financially.
You did a ton. You fixed the gym.
Yeah, but I totally could help do stuff. That's where I could.
You helped do stuff. You built the racks. You fixed the gym up. You sponsored tons of athletes. So you did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Plenty of people.
I would like to have done more, though.
I would have
because
liked
you were
to
doing
have
a
done
great thing. Absolutely, it was a great
did
thing.
More than enough. It
was all good stuff.
And I remember Corey finally though got fed up because he got shorted some money.
Yeah. On
a pretty crap deal, and he was one of the people putting money in, and he got a pretty short end of a stick on a deal. And I don't want to say he was mad at me, because again, I didn't got shit to do with it.
Yeah.
But I think if someone was to rob you in one business, you'd be like, well, nah, I ain't helping your ass.
It's just kind of hard to swallow that.
Yeah, it's like, well, come on,
forward.
man, I shot you good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. What was high school like for you?
High school was good. I did elementary school on up. I was a great student.
That's what I'm saying. What was it like?
Yeah, I did real good elementary school to 7th grade. I was a straight A student. A couple years I did A's and B's. 7th grade went south.
Oh God,
south. Wrong crowd. 7th grade too. That's
What is it about 7th grade?
I don't know. I don't know. My thing was I did really well in school. That whole straight A's and A's and B's thing, that was legit. I understood what they were teaching me there, but I got bored with it. There was by the time 7th grade rolled around, I was ready to do something else. I'm ready to move on. Give me something harder to do. But there wasn't any of that. to me, high school's programming you for
Work
work.
9 to
I
5.
want a
Go to
nation-
that factory and do it.
I want a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. Henry Ford said that. He didn't want a nation of thinkers. He wanted a nation of workers. Rockefeller, I'm sorry.
Okay.
As Rockefeller said that. But that's what they do to us now. They indoctrinate us. They train us to go into the workforce, work at that factory 9 to 5, get a good job.
You don't need
Go to
no more. Don't
school.
want no more. You ain't
Yeah,
shit.
Don't
Don't
want
be
no
shit.
more. Don't need no more. Don't excel for no more. So, at high school, 7th grade, I started falling in with the wrong crowd, got into drugs, totally the wrong people. That lasted until I quit school in 10th grade. I went to work. I always worked. I never did steal or anything like that, but definitely around the wrong crowd of people. Definitely doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing.
Yes.
Never stealing, never hurting anybody, but doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing.
I stole a box of cigarettes from my granddad's store.
I stole some candy cigarettes one time from a store. Man, it was brutal. My mom taking me back in there and making me give that back.
Give it back.
Oh, it was terrible.
Hell for
I didn't steal ever again. That was the last of my stealing.
The pawpaw that I stole from, was Millard McNutt. Now I'll tell you a couple of stories about him. He went to the military when he was 16. He lied about his age. He wanted to go. It was, I think, what was the Korean War? What was that?
I don't know what went on in it. My dad was in the Korean War, though.
I think it was Korea. It might have been Vietnam. Either way, I don't know.
What year was it?
No idea. So he lied. Went into the military. Him and his brother went to a whorehouse while they was there.
Yeah.
Got drunk as a skunk and they burnt it to the ground.
Really?
Yeah, they burnt it down. They burnt a whorehouse down. That's what they called it. I'm not saying whore. That's what they called it.
That's what they called it.
They burnt the whorehouse down. He got back from the military. He got to go back and finish high school because he was still young. He was 17, He went back into school. He played football. And this boy kept talking shit on the football field. They was during a game, and he called him a P word and a B word and every word. And finally, man, my papa got tore up about it. My papa would fight people this thing. And he took his helmet off, and he smacked that helmet, and he yanked that boy's helmet off, and he bit half his damn ear off. He bit half his damn ear off. And I don't know how many people's ass he whooped over the years.
That's that toxic masculinity.
Man, he was it. He was it. Damn biggest fist you ever seen, man. He was just
bear claws.
Looked like an Irish guy. No mustache, but beard around, bald as could.
Yeah.
You remember the Triangle in Valley Head? Gas station?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bottom right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Hey. In just a few minutes when I get done, yeah. So he owned the Triangle. We was always at the Triangle. Well, before I was born, this guy came by delivering ice. And he said, "How many bags you want, Mr. McNutt?" And he said, 28 bags. And the guy, my papa stood there, and papa was poor. The Triangle wasn't no big, crazy gas station. We got gas, we got cigarettes.
Yeah.
And he counted as the guy went 1, 2, 25, 26, 27. The guy goes, "All right, man, that's your bags. Pay me up." And my papa goes, "No, I ain't paying you." He said, I ain't giving you no money. You put 27 bags in there. I want 28. And the guy goes, "No, I put 28 bags in." My papa says, "I counted them while you did it." And the guy goes, "You call me a liar, you son of a bitch." And my papa goes, "What?" And he hit him, and he punched him, and he hit him again, and he threw him in the icebox, and he locked it. He locked it. He called the police. He said, "Hey, man, y'all need to come up here and get this guy. He's tried to rob me, and I've got him in the icebox." They said, "You've got him where?" He said, "In my icebox." They said, "Hell far. We'll see you in a minute." Cop gets there, lets him out, and that guy's mad by now.
Yeah,
He's cooled off.
He's cooled off.
Yeah,
though,
but he's like, "You bastard." And the cop goes, "Are you sure he only put 27 in?" And my papa goes, "No doubt." And the cop goes, "Well, look, we'll have him count them. And if he put in the right amount and you did that, you're going to jail." My papa goes, "I'll do that. That's okay."
Yeah.
And they made that guy take them out.
One at a time.
27 damn bags,
27
man.
bags.
He says, "I just wanted 28 bags." The guy had to put him back in there and then put him one more. Had to leave, man. He was
That's
a wild
good
man.
stuff.
Do you know where how'd you meet Hannah? Hannah was talking shit the other day when she was in here.
Man, I don't doubt it.
She was saying like you was thirsty because she was fine and you was just into it. Tell us your version. What happened?
Honestly, sheer chance,
Yeah.
We did meet on Facebook. That's no doubt how we met, but it was just sheer chance. Her brother worked for us. I saw her. Didn't know her before. I'd never known her before. We just literally met on Facebook.
She was a damn looker, wasn't she?
We met on Facebook. We started hanging out. Cool chick, though. That's the big thing for me. And I don't want an ugly girl. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking for no ugly girl, but The looks thing is kind of just a plus.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's a perk. She's probably my best friend, I'd have to say.
Hannah's a good lady, man.
Yeah.
I've known her all my life.
Oh, she was super cool, man. We hung out for a couple, 3 years before we ever dated at all.
Yeah.
You know, we hung out a lot.
Heck yeah. What's it like living with her?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
She seems nice.
Oh
all the
man,
time.
I tell the guys at work, she, got clothes in the shower when I come home, supper's cooked and sitting on the stove. She cleans house, does laundry. She's great.
Can't
There's
beat that.
no
man.
complaints. She doesn't bitch and carry on. If she did, it wouldn't work out.
Like, come on, man. This
it's
sucks.
great. We cohabitate very well together. We both put in. We both do. If she doesn't feel like doing dishes, I do dishes. She don't feel like cooking, I cook it. We both do it all, and we are a great team.
She wasn't really talking shit. She
Nah.
said good stuff. She said,
She does talk shit, though.
She does. She runs her damn mouth. She can't shut up.
She can't stop it. She loves talking shit.
She's
I do
all-
too, though. So we talk a lot
so
of
it
shit
goes
together.
good.
Yeah, it goes good.
What do you got going on right now? Can you touch on anything that you're planning? Kind of what the plans may be? Is that staying low?
Work-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's nothing down low here. So we're working our mechanical work right now, and it's a good thing. But we've started up a fiber division. We're going into fiber optics right now, and it's something that we heard about a few years back, maybe 6 years ago. The guy telling it, though, was real unreliable. Couldn't really trust what he was saying. Met a new guy. He came in, and I will say, since we've been in business, we have lost more money trying new ventures with other people than we've ever lost in what we've done.
Yeah.
Me and Travis have taken money that we've made in what we've made a successful business and invested into somebody else in what they thought they could make a successful business and lost money.
I can see that.
A lot of it, maybe better than $200,000 over the course of the years, easily. From tools and labor investment and time, easily more than $200,000. But the fiber optics, I think, is going to really pay off. We had some insight beforehand. Somebody came to us and they were talking about it and wanted to get something going in fiber optics. We talked about it. We met another guy sitting at the lunch table one day and kind of solidified the numbers we were hearing on the stuff. And I think it's a great industry. It's a booming industry for sure. We've got a crew out in Washington State right now. There's 5 guys out there that just started. We did make about a $50,000 investment to get started into it. And these guys are out there working. They've only worked about a week so far. So it's real fresh, but we've got huge hopes for it. If that goes good, man, we're gonna grow that side of it and kind of drift away from what we're doing on the mechanical side of things. It's so hard to get people in. When I say mechanical work, we do pipe fabrication, we do shop fabrication, we do millwright work. Millwright work is like the gears and the nuts and bolts. It's like
Whisper.
it's like industrial auto mechanics for big business, paper mills, things like that, heavy mechanical stuff. That's what I call mechanical work. But it's so hard to get somebody trained in that. It takes so long. And then you have that person leave, or they get sick, or they quit, or they go somewhere else. You've got all that time invested in, and then you have to hire somebody else. And it just takes so long. But with the fiber optics, it's such a huge demand. The pay is really good. The training time is low. Doesn't take a long time to get somebody trained up into it. And like I say, the demand is super high right now. It's huge demand, and it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, because everybody wants internet.
Yeah, they've not tapped it at all yet. In my opinion, I thought they had tapped the market. It was close to ending, but that's not the case.
I'm into making some money. I want to make some money. I'm down.
Me too.
I own my stuff. I'm good. I'm not tied down. I want some money.
Yeah, me too.
What'd you think about the guy? Did you hear about the guy getting zip tied and beat the hell out of?
What about that? Did you know the guy? Shaw, was it Dylan Shaw?
So the word is it's Dylan. How do you know Dylan?
I don't. No.
Okay.
I just saw the name. I don't know Dylan Shaw.
So the word is it's Dylan Shaw. I heard a few different names. I heard it was someone said it was his dad, but his dad died. I thought maybe it might have been his granddad, because his granddad and his grandmama raised him.
You know the guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna elaborate on it. And the way they said it, I'm not putting. The rumor was that he used to beat on his grandma was the rumor. Yeah. I don't think I believe that. I met Dylan. I don't believe that. That was just a rumor that went around, was they were mean to their grandma.
Yeah.
Now I've seen Dylan and Josh and Cody, not Dylan around so much because I don't deal with the same Dylans as he does. But I seen it's Cody or Josh. They come by the office sometimes trying to talk, get a job. One of them, I think, was up there working with Kenny Young for a little while.
Yeah.
Trying to get it right. Now, Dylan, I think, is around here in Ider. And we spoke to Hannah about it. If I wanted a bag of dope, I could right now put on Facebook who's got a bag, and within probably an hour, I'd probably go smoke a bag of dope.
It's that easy. It
So,
really is.
Yeah, and that's insane to me.
It is insane.
But the word we're going to touch on that. Why? Not why yet, but so someone. I'm pretty sure it was Dylan at this point. Is the word that is? It was Dylan.
Oh, Ider. Well, now Ider Police Department didn't say that's who it was.
No,
they didn't say that, but they did put a report out. It's a legit story. Whoever got tied up, whether it's Dylan Shaw or not, it happened.
Yeah.
The guy got zip tied. The guy got beat up.
The hell beat out of him and thrown out.
They said beat bad.
So some people are thinking either he owed somebody money, which is possible.
Possible.
How you confront me that, dog?
Possible.
He might have owed somebody money, or somebody got word that he had a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
Whooped his ass a little bit, took his stuff. Now that's all rumor. That's all hearsay. That's not me saying that's what happened. That's people. That's the rumor mill running.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He had posted. I prowled a little bit. I looked on his Facebook. He had said something fairly recently, and I think in January, about like, man, 5 days sober. Please God help me keep this demon out of my head. Man, I get it.
Yeah, I get it too.
Some people have addiction to pills. I have a porn addiction.
Yeah.
I don't mean to. Just it's there. It's man, it's easy.
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic in the sense that, like, if I wanted to go to jail, man, I can put a bottle away and go to jail. It's I want to go do hood rat stuff. I want to go burn a city down. I'm choosing not to because I have a wife and kids. So addiction is real, and that it sucks because, like, he bullied me in school. He was my first real bully that I ever had was Dylan Shaw. First bully I ever had was Dylan Shaw at Ider anyway. I had other bullies, but he was the first one that it was like an all the time thing. And I got a little older. I started punking on people a little bit. And as angry as I was at him for the longest time, I don't want you to get zip tied and beat in a ditch. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
And the way I've heard, man, his parents were real good to him. He was a little spoiled, you know, and that's great. So I just don't know. I don't know why it keeps happening. Why do you think it's so easy to? I'm not saying that's what happened with him. Why do you think it's so easy to get dope here?
They keep letting the people back out that do the dope.
Why are they letting them out?
It's all a money racket. They all they do is put these people in jail so that they can follow them to the next person that has dope, so that they can put that person in jail, so that they can all pay the color code system.
Yeah, all of them.
We can pay court costs. You go into that court system down there, and I've been to that court system with some of our people. You know, I've been down there and talked for some of our employees. When you walk into that court system on drug court day, and you have 200 people filing through there and filing guilty every single time, you get one person comes up and he says, "No, I plead not guilty." You know what they do to that guy?
You're going to sit in jail a little bit.
Case dismissed. They'll throw it out. I watched them throw one out. There's 200 people come through. They throw one guy out that pleads not guilty, because why are you going to waste your time on the one guy that pleads not guilty when you got 199 more that are pleading guilty and paying your court costs, paying your fees? They're keeping your system running. They're keeping your drug court running. They're keeping color code system running. And where are these people getting this money that are doing these drugs? They come and they steal it from the people that are not doing it.
Yeah.
They come and Donnie Sharpton. They come and they break into their neighbor's house. They break into their family's house.
Who's Donnie Sharpton?
Guy lived down the road from us. I want to sing my praises to Nathaniel Bates. Nathaniel Bates works for DeKalb County. Excellent dude right there. Him and Willie are probably two of my favorite police officers ever. They're great people. We got Donnie Sharpton ran off. He lived down the road. He moves in with his grandmother down the road from us. One neighbor gets broke into. Got him on camera. You know, got this guy on camera. Do they take him to jail? No, absolutely not. So the other neighbor gets broke into, and another neighbor gets broke into, and nobody will do anything about this guy. The cops won't do anything about him. Why? Because they're following Donnie Sharpton to get another guy to put into the system. Donnie's already into the system.
Yeah.
Donnie's already stealing stuff from everybody to pay for his drug court down here. They don't give a shit. You know, it's not their house is getting stole from. But that's what they do. They put these people into the system. 2 days later, they get out of jail. They're doing the same thing. What's the solution? There's no solution.
No, there's no help.
There's no help. They're not trying to rehabilitate these people. No. I'm all for help.
Yeah, his place. Kenny in his place, man. I'm documenting a whole day for them.
I think they're doing top-notch work.
Kenny worked. I really believe Kenny's got some kind of anointing on him.
Yeah.
Can I just add, like you said, it was a money racket. Like, okay, if you go down to the courthouse in Fort Payne, look along that strip right there. There's like 20, 30 lawyers' offices.
Yeah,
right
man.
There.
It
Yeah.
is.
All of them's buddies. They're making money off each other.
They are. Everybody's making money. The judges are making money off of it. The court
Mama, bring me
system's
a beer,
making
please.
money off of it. The lawyers are making money off of it. It's employing an entire division
Mom.
via color code.
Bring me a beer, please. Keep going. I'm listening.
Man, I would think you was awesome. I'd take one too.
Yeah, please too. Thank you.
I'm gonna say please though, not like Sam.
No, I just didn't want to. Why?
But it really frustrates me. It's a big frustration of mine because it is prevalent in this area. It's sad when you go out into the world and you're 600 miles away and somebody knows our hometown as Meth Mountain.
Meth Mountain, yeah.
It's terribly depressing to hear that.
Like, oh, you're from over there.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you're from Meth Mountain. Oh, you got a sack in your pocket? No, I don't
No.
have a sack in my pocket. I'm not into that. I don't do that.
We did a comedy show here at my old house one time, and just because I know what the joke is, I know what we're known for, and these comedians walked up and I said, man, y'all ready to smoke some crack?" and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "No, I'm just kidding," but they didn't think I was kidding. They thought I meant like really we was gonna smoke dope in the back.
And this is something I hate to rant, but it's something I'm passionate about. I think that everybody's the problem.
Yes.
From the police to the judges. And I'm not saying Nick Weldon's doing a bad job. It's just that when Nick's deputies go out there and they do make these arrests and they do bust these people and they do confiscate all these drugs, why are these people back out on the street in a week? Why are they just going through a color code system, a court referral system? You'll be on probation 3 different times, for the same thing.
So when
It's
when I worked at the jail, and I told Hannah too.
Oh yeah, you worked at the jail.
Yeah, I was in the jail, and we couldn't take them to court. We didn't take them to actual court. We did video court.
Yeah.
So this was their color code appearance.
Yeah.
And when we would hop on, the guy would say, "Hey man, what's your drug of choice?" And he'd go, "I don't have a drug problem." The guy in jail would go, "I don't have a drug problem." And the guy at color code will go, "Well, I can't help you. You're gonna sit in there a couple of weeks."
Mm-hmm.
And the guy would just be flabbergasted. Or girl would be like, "What do you mean?" He'd be like, "Well, I'm only here to help people that's got a drug problem. If you ain't got a drug problem, I can't help you. I'll see you next time." And they'd send them on. Well, what are people going to do? Are they going to sit in there a few weeks?
No.
And the guys would go, "Well,
Till they want out of jail. I've been in jail.
Yeah,
I don't
they'd
want to
say,
be in there.
well, what if I
does.
say what if I do have a problem?" He go, "I can get you out tomorrow.
Yeah.
You just got to come see me." And
That's right.
They get them out the next day.
Court referral for 1 year. You pay me $25 a lick. You go over here and take your drug test, pay them $15 a lick.
Yeah.
You get 1,000 people doing that.
That's
and
money.
That's money.
There was a documentary, not documentary, but there was like a court. There was people requesting the information of where that money goes.
That's right.
Now you can make, and that something happened.
It's all private
It
business.
just got shut down. But you can make a public records request.
Yeah.
And
a
find
FOIA
out where.
request.
Yeah, and find out where that money's going.
You can if it's a government entity, but if the color code system is
Privately
truly
owned.
privately owned, you can't make a FOIA request.
Who
on
owns it?
I'd have to look into it, but I have heard that
That'd be nice to know.
that it is privately owned. It is a privately owned entity, a for-profit entity that the government, the county government, the state government subcontracts out. Just like the prison systems, the prison systems are private. The state doesn't own all these penitentiary systems. They're
Some rich guy that does.
Some rich guy that does. He
Damn.
builds a prison system that gets paid from our tax dollars to pay for all
Free
this.
labor.
Our tax dollars and these people going down there and paying their fees is what pay for it. My problem is they are not trying to solve the problem. They're simply trying to keep their job funded.
Yeah,
and that's bullshit.
They want job security.
They want job security. They don't give a
Damn,
damn
son.
about helping this guy down the road. They don't care that he really does have a drug problem. He hasn't seen his kids in years.
No.
He steals from his parents. He steals from his friends. He steals from everybody. They don't care about that. They care about getting their money. And to me, that really burns my ass.
Yep.
That we're a part of a community
you
like
want
that.
job security, and that's what you're getting all your money for.
We pay these police. We pay these judges. We pay for this system that's not here to help these people.
No.
Get the drugs off the street. You can't tell me you can't stop the problem.
No.
If we brought back good old boy justice system, we could clean house.
Now people do say there's mafia here. I've heard that. People getting their
I've
hands
heard
cut
that.
off and shit. Now, is that you think maybe the cops are scared of the mafia?
I doubt it.
Because I feel like we've got a fucking helicopter now.
Yeah, man.
I know because they drive it over my house sometimes. I'm like, one day I mooned them. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have, but I did. Helicopter, man, flew over my house. I just pulled my pants down. I was like, leave me get out of here. Why are you driving a helicopter around into DeKalb County?
I think there are people in the system that want to do good, but when you've got like 1 in 10, like I say, Nathaniel Bates is a great guy. You know, he helped us get rid of Donnie Sharpton. Was he able to nail him on something and get him in jail for good? No, but he did get him out of our community. I think Nick Weldon's doing a great job. You know, I don't have complaints about what Nick's doing. My problem is just that these people don't suffer any repercussions and they don't get any help. All they do is funnel money into the system.
Yes.
You know, there's no
They get out, they go right back in.
They get out,
they go right back in.
It's
I
revolving.
I think there should be more his place things, just like Kenny's doing. There's
Me
plenty.
too.
There's plenty of get sober houses or whatever.
Yeah.
When I'm around Kenny, when I talk to Kenny, when he's talking about what he's doing, you can feel anointing on people. Do you believe in God and Jesus?
Absolutely.
Okay. When you're around some people and you can feel them talking like it's supposed to be their life's work, whether you believe in Jesus or not, there's an energy in the universe. There's things. I happen to believe in God and Jesus, but you can feel an anointing on people when they really believe and feel like they're doing the work that God told them to do. And when I'm around that cat, I'm like, man, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If anyone gets a chance to be on here, my brother Zach, his mom's dying of cancer. She's in very, very bad shape.
Hate that.
So, and I'm the last guy that should be praying for anybody, but I used to hate that lady.
Everybody should pray.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus came here and he died for the sinners.
Everybody.
He didn't come here and die for the saved.
Yes,
he came here and died for the sinners.
Amen.
That's the truth of what he did.
And I'm not a guy that prays a lot, and I'm not a guy that like tells people how to pray, but I'm trying to tell my brother to pray now.
Absolutely.
I'm praying for. I used to want her to die. I really did.
Yeah.
And man, I hope she gets better tomorrow. I pray she gets better tomorrow. Well, Kenny and the guys from his place are getting with Zach. They're going to come down. They're going to lay some hands on her, man. They're going to try to.
That's good stuff.
If anybody's going to put a miracle on somebody, hey, I almost said hell, but I bet Kenny does. I bet Kenny can. Imagine that, man. That'd be cool.
I just lost my best friend about a week and a half ago from cancer. He had it was colon cancer. Yeah, it was colon cancer. And best friend, man. He's the reason I have a relationship with God like I have. I didn't grow up going to church. You know, my relationship with God came at a later stage in life. And 20.
Mine's now. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Started 20, you know, and he's the reason for that. Man, I lost that guy about a week and a half ago, and it was really hard on me. But cancer, man, it's a bad thing.
It's terrible.
It is.
So about like with the drug thing, a lot of people are saying like, you know what I'm getting at.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you think
there needs to be more stuff just like that? Instead of us giving our funding to something like Color Code, because I mean, I don't know what kind of funding Kenny gets for what he's doing, but why is Kenny one of the only ones doing that?
Like on that level, at that level, and doing it that way? Like, because he'll take people, man. He'll lock them up in a room, and he helps them get like.
You got to dry out before you're ever going to get any help.
And he's getting them through that, and it's like, dude, why is it just him? Why is it just those people? There should be tons of places.
Tons.
I can't even think how many people from right here are trying to go to his place or somewhere like his place or something similar.
And he's probably got a backlog, you know, to where he's full. You can't even take people. And
And I've had buddies and stuff do bad, family members, and I'm like, Kenny, can you get them in? He's like, yeah, man, we can do it, but they're going to have to want to do it. There should be more backing for them and what they're doing. They shouldn't be struggling to do what I think is probably God's work. And people can say like, well, they shouldn't do drugs. Well, man, you shouldn't be looking at women. You're married. You shouldn't be drinking to excess. You're eating too much. Yeah, everybody is, but people don't want to look at it like that. No. And that's a strange thing for me. Speaking of the Bible, how I think the Bible, reading some of the stories, I believe the Bible. I believe God and Jesus. I think some of the stories in the Bible, I think those people were probably on psychedelics. What are your thoughts?
It's hard to say, you know.
Because I know they were drinking. I know they was doing stuff.
Absolutely, you know.
Let's eat this mushroom, brother.
That was put here on the earth. It's not, you know, I don't really know of anything else that's out there that is not produced, you know what I'm saying? Like cocaine is a derivative of something. It's not like you're picking up a cocoa leaf and getting high like you do off of cocaine.
You have to do something to it.
Methamphetamine is a chemical, but to me, the things that were put here by God have an intended use because he says he gave us every plant and seed to do as we saw fit with, to consume. He gave us dominion over the animals that roam the earth. He gave us dominion over every plant and seed that was here for us.
And mushrooms happen from poop.
Yeah. If you go back and you look at mushrooms, you know, you can look at the psychedelic mushrooms.
The burning bush.
Oh, man, they were great things. I think the burning bush was the burning bush. I think that was God coming down. He talked to us back in the day.
Back in the day, he did. And I don't not believe it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like long time ago when I was younger, man, I'd eat some mushrooms. And I would talk to something.
Yeah.
Some kind of energy on this planet, man.
Well,
So-
the Indians had peyote, and it felt
Yeah.
like the Indians felt like it took them to the spirit world. And from what I understand, as far as these psychedelics and the mushrooms and things now, the natural psychedelics, not per se LSD. And again, even with LSD,
and LSD's tampered with.
it's an abuse factor, you know. But these people that were using these mushrooms, they were healing depression, you know, they were healing anxiety. They were getting themselves into a way better demeanor when this first came out, and it was helping people, and then the government steps in and shuts
No,
it
you
down.
can't do that.
Can't do that anymore. That's illegal.
We need you on color code.
Yeah, we need to go color code. Our government, man, I don't know what to say.
A buddy of mine told me, he said, life's waves, man. And he said life's waves. It's Tyler Priya. He said it. He said, life's waves, man. You'll go up and you'll go down, and you'll go up and you'll go down. I've been everywhere. I've been way down. I've been way up. I've been way down. I've been way up. I've been down middle. He said, but what you'll see is some people get off certain spots. Some people hop off on you.
Yep.
Either that wave's too high and scary for them, so they're out. You get down low, nah, they ain't trying to be there. And some people don't want to be middle of the pack. But some people stay on that boat all the time, man.
Yeah.
And that's that good shit. Now, I say all that because of the waves. In the past, when I would eat the mushrooms and stuff, again, in the past, because that's illegal, I would look and try to read, man. And everything looks this way. The letters on my phone, it's not regular letters at the time. It's hieroglyphs. The pages in a book, it's not regular letters. It's hieroglyphs and waves, man.
Yeah.
I was trying to read to a group of people at one point in my life on them. Couldn't read. It was all waves, man. There's what's his name? Tyler Childers. He's got a song called Universal Sound.
Yeah.
And I don't believe for a second that man's not eating psychedelic mushrooms at least occasionally in his life.
Tyler Childers looks wild.
Yeah, man.
I love Tyler Childers, man. But when you're watching him sing, he looks wild.
The Laws of Man song. I don't.
Man.
Good God, that's a heater, son.
Deep.
And people say those people are the Appalachians. They say
Appalachians.
they've got some kind of weird connection with God.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm almost done, baby. Go sit down, okay? And they're saying that's why he looks so crazy and stuff when he's singing about God.
Yeah.
But he's got a song. He says, I focus on my breathing and the universal sound. Why are you having to focus on your breathing, brother? What's the universal sound? That's not regular talk. That's mushroom talk.
Yeah, but we've got a lot of distractions these days that people back in the day didn't have. They could focus more on God and spirituality. They put more focus on that because, you didn't have anything. You had your home and your local area around you. And even before that, you start talking about back in the days of Moses and things of that nature. There was not really anything. Now we have podcasts and beer and TV. And
I know they were tripping at some points.
they had to be.
They weren't just living out in the damn desert. No way. Like, hey, man, I'm going in. God told me to take my son over here and sacrifice him. What do you mean, dog? What do you mean, dog? God said I got to do it. I ain't going to tell him, though.
Yeah.
And God said don't. Nah, I'm not saying God wasn't talking to people. There's a book called like The Magic Mushroom in the Bible.
I've never read it.
I haven't either. And I want to and I need to.
Yeah.
It's something similar to that, The Magic Mushroom in the Bible or something, but it's putting them together. You can get it on audiobook, and I want to
Pharmakia is the Greek word for pharmacy. That's where the witches back in the day would make potions and stuff like that. Everybody would drink and get high.
Okay. Can you imagine being at a snake handling church on about 4 grams?
I'm not doing snake handling.
Ah! What do you think about the snake handling churches? Are they just feeling God? Like, what's going on?
I think they are feeling God. Man, I read a book. I read the Salvation on Sand Mountain book.
Okay.
It's a great book, and it talks about the guy that came to Sand Mountain, and he went to the snake handling churches. He was going to write about it, but at the end of this book, this guy was so moved by the Holy Spirit in there, he handled the snakes himself. He felt the Spirit in there so strongly that he handled the snakes himself. And to me, it's a misinterpretation in the Bible, because it says God will protect you from things if you only have faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed.
Yeah.
But you're also tempting God as well by taking up that serpent.
Thou shalt not tempt the Lord.
Thou shalt not tempt the Lord. And when you're shaking the serpents, man. Why are you doing that? If I'm out in the woods and I'm walking, God's going to keep me safe. I have faith that God's going to keep me safe out there from that snake, but that don't mean pick it up, try to kiss it,
mop it on the head,
snap it on the head. Yeah, why are you going to do that? I'm not trying to tempt God at all. I'm just not into shaking snakes, man. I'm comfortable in my spirituality and relationship without having to handle a snake.
Love to go to church for y'all sometime. We started going up the road. They're very nice people.
Okay.
We used to go up here. At one point, we stopped going for a second, and people started asking if me and Vicky was getting a divorce. So I know, like,
just because you stopped going.
well, yeah, well, I'm sure, like, she's hot. So someone was
Yeah.
like, "Are they divorced?" I'm like, "No." So I'm like, "I'm not coming here anymore." We went to a thing up here. Nice people. I'm not making fun of them. That's important to know. But at one point, we was in there. It's just a few weird instances. At one point, we was there on like a 4th of July thing, and they were singing like music about America, which is great. I'm super pro America.
Yeah.
I'm not culty about America. I love America. I love my country. I don't believe for a second right now this is the land of opportunity like it used to be. I don't think people can just pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
I love the principles of what our country was
Yes.
founded on
Same.
and what we fought for in the Revolutionary War when we kicked the British's ass and kicked them out of our country.
Same.
That's what I'm.
But it's not like that now.
No, sir.
You pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well,
Yeah.
nah, dude, I'm
Ow.
working hard anyway, dog.
Uncle Sam's there to stomp your ass back down
I'm
in the
paying.
mud.
You're paying $900 rent, $2,000 rent on a house,
Yeah.
$1,500 rent, whatever.
Power,
It's
water.
not just pulling yourself up by your bootstraps anymore because
Yeah.
plenty of people are
No.
working and barely getting by.
That's right.
So we was in there, man, and all of a sudden this old man started singing, "I'm proud to be an American." And it's
Lee
great.
Greenwood, yeah.
Yeah, but they were all doing it.
Yeah.
People were recording it,
Cultish.
and I'm like, this is nothing to do with God.
Yeah.
This is a weird room full of people that it's just weird for me.
You know, I don't go to church on a regular basis.
And us either. We just recently started going up here, and they've just been polite to us and
Yeah.
welcoming. And I'm just like, hey, let's go sometime. We can eat, 4 grams before. Back in the day, we would have not now because it's
Yeah.
2023 and we're grown.
Yeah.
But so we went to this other church, and we got in there, and we was just trying to find churches.
Yeah.
We're just trying to find a church that fits us, our home, and stuff like that. So we go to this other church up the road. Seems like a nice place. They got nice wood grain and stuff. I'm like, cool, man, this looks nice. We get in there, and when I'm going to church, I'm like, I need God. I'm one of the worst sinners on this planet. I deserve nothing good that I have. Everything bad that's happened to me is 100% deserved. I earned that by my sin, and I understand that.
Yeah.
So when I go to church, man, I need God. I need it to be like, I need like hellfire and brimstones. I need to
That's
feel
me.
something. Because if I am so uninterested by what you're preaching to me,
You're
then
not getting the message. God's
Yeah.
not. If you're like that in church,
yes.
God's not talking to you through
No.
that preacher. You need to drift on
And somebody
somewhere
walks
else.
by and you glance at their butt. No, dude, you're probably not thinking about God
Because
a
man,
bit.
when you start hearing a sermon and you feel it, and
Yes.
God's talking to you through that preacher,
Yes.
and you know God's
Yes.
talking, you know that.
So we get in there.
That's the Holy Spirit, man, and that's what you got to have.
This preacher's preaching like this, man. He's talking to us, but he's just like this, talking to us. And next thing you know, he's like, God hates homosexuals, and we don't push that here. And I'm just like, but he said more than that. I'm like, well, God don't hate nobody.
God don't hate nobody.
I have friends that are homosexuals. I
Yeah.
have friends that are not. I have friends that probably cheat on their wives. I have friends that don't. I have friends that smoke meth. I have friends that don't. I have all sorts of friends that sin all sorts of different ways because every damn person on this planet is, as you said, a real sinner.
There's only one unforgivable sin.
Yeah.
That's denying God.
Yeah, denying God.
That's the only unforgivable sin. Everybody else,
Yeah.
outside of that person that is doing that unforgivable sin of denying God,
Yes.
is a sinner.
Yes.
100% of people on this
Zeroed out.
planet throughout time,
Yes.
save for a couple,
Yeah.
are sinners.
Yes.
Be it homosexuality, gluttony,
Meth,
greed,
drugs, liquor, whatever.
doesn't matter.
And so they're sitting there preaching this to us, and like a lot of this stuff, like, and I'm just like, well, this ain't really what I came for. But okay, if that's their viewpoint, that's fine. I think if we think things are a mental illness, like whether you want to be a man or a woman and pick what you want to be, again, if I'm married to my wife,
Yeah.
if I glance at another lady's bosom, I'm wrong.
Yeah, if
That's
you
a
glance
sin.
at another lady's bosom, you say,
You
wow.
can't go one above the other.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, you hate me too because I'm out here sinning. But they're pushing all that, and then all of a sudden he went from that to like telling us how to vote. And I was like, man, like, first off, I don't hate nobody because I'm just as bad. Second, why are we talking about who we're voting for in August? And I was just like, dude, I almost walked out when he started telling us how to vote because I was just like, dude, this is the great, like, and at the end of the sermon, you know what he said? He said, well, if I didn't get none of y'all fired up, I'm just sorry, but that's just how it is. And I was like, oh my God, you
Yeah,
are not.
I've been to church a lot.
Yeah,
and
that wasn't it.
I don't always get the message, you know. I don't always get the Holy Spirit talking to me,
Me either.
but I feel it when I do. And you know, I felt it without going to church. Whenever I got baptized, when I got baptized, and I really came to the Lord and got washed of my sins and got saved and got baptized, it was of the Holy Spirit's doing. It was not of my doing.
No.
You know, it was nothing like that. Holy Spirit comes down, slaps me in the mouth, says, "Son, you need to pick a Bible up and you need to read about baptism." And that's what I did. I get in the Bible and I start reading about baptism. I had to be baptized that next weekend. It flew on me, you know. It was something hit me. And every time I've gotten a message it doesn't matter if it's at a dirt track race. I've been at a dirt track race and they have church on Sundays at the dirt track races. You go over to the other side of the pits, they have church. Man, I've been sitting there on a dirt track in Talladega, Alabama, and got a message that was meant for me from God through that preacher. That's awesome. What's important is getting a message that's meant for you.
Yes. If
you're talking to God and you're praying in your own time, you know, and you're getting the message when you go, you're doing the right thing.
If you're telling me how to vote,
yeah,
brother, I know how to vote, man. Leave me alone. Preach to me. So what do you think? Some people don't believe in God. I got a cousin that don't believe in God. They think that's all not real. I got a buddy.
I've got a cousin that doesn't believe in God. As an atheist.
So what all we can do is really
I debate with him about the existence of God and try to go through all the evidence that there is for God. The best evidence that I've ever heard was honestly from a TV show. Can't remember the name of the TV show, but God comes down in human form and he's talking to this girl and she says, "Well, if you're God and you're so great, do something, create something." He points over there to a tree and she said, "Well, that's just a tree." And he says, "You make one."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't believe in evolution. You know, I don't believe we were a primordial soup. We may very well have been, but I believe God created it. You know, it took God 6 days to create the heaven and the earth. Well, sure, the earth may seem these billions of years old, like
and this
they
thing
say
goes
it is,
on forever.
But a day in God's time, it said it took God 6 days. So that's 6 days of God's time. Who's to say 6 days of God's time is not a billion years of our time?
Yeah.
You know, so it may have been a primordial soup when he's forming all of it, doing whatever God did to create it all. But the theory that we were naturally a primordial soup that a tadpole crawled out of and eventually turned into a monkey don't jive with the Darwinism. That's not what I feel in my heart. And it is something that I feel in my heart. It's something.
I think we were cave people at some point, but
totally.
I just don't think.
Yeah.
And
totally.
I believe that, but I don't think we're like fish, dragon, whatever. Oh, now we're people.
Yeah.
I think we had to grow and adapt.
Where is that evolution right now? Where are these pre-stage monkey humans now?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Where did they go?
What are we going to be next?
Evolution just stopped.
We're just peaked out.
Yeah.
This is it.
We peaked out. This is it. I don't buy that.
I get that.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
I think
people that are atheists, man, I debate with them. I try to show them all of the things that are out there, the evidence that God exists, and then I pray for them. But they ultimately, in the end, they're going to believe what they believe.
And now those people too, as far as praying for, I'm not judging them.
No way.
Because I still might go to hell based on.
It is not my spot to judge them. God said that too.
And I even ask them people for good vibes because I think vibes are a real thing, man. I think energy. I think a universal energy is a real thing. I believe in that. I have
friends that are Hindi. I have friends that are Buddhists. I have friends that are Catholics. You know, I have friends that are different religions and different denominations. It's not my place to judge these people.
No.
It's not my place to cast hellfire and brimstone any more than it's their place to cast hellfire and brimstone on me.
Judge not, lest you be judged. And there's
Amen.
Cast the first stone. Let he who's without sin cast the first
Amen.
stone. I can't throw nothing.
That's
that's why everyone that's done me wrong ever, I forgive them. I'm not going to let them back in my home.
I'm a powder puff. I may as well help you up, pat you off, try to give you some good vibes because I can't throw nothing.
I can't have them back in my home. I'm just like, hey, cool. We're just not going to associate. I forgive you. It's fine.
Yeah.
I forgive you. Whoever you are, we're good.
Yeah.
I just ain't going to have some people around, man.
Yeah.
One more little piece. The same friend that I have that is an atheist, he also is convinced, and this is not my viewpoint. This is not my viewpoint.
You're being stressing that.
Yeah, it's important because I don't want YouTube to pull the video. This is not my view. This is a person that I know's view. He thinks the Holocaust didn't happen. Where are you at on that?
I feel like it did.
I feel like it did too, man.
Yeah.
I
feel like Hitler was a bad dude. I feel like Hitler had some good things going for him. Now,
like he was smart and
bad as Hitler
and
was,
he could talk.
Hitler did some good things for Germany. It's just like at some point
he fell off the damn rails.
Fell completely off the rails because he did great things for Germany. Hitler did amazing things for Germany, and then he flips his shit and goes nuts, and he's all about the white Aryan race and killing wiping out the Jews.
And he looked Jewish. He looked Jewish. Black hair.
He's Polish, you know.
Yeah.
Hitler was from Poland.
Didn't they say he was doing meth?
He invented it. That was, from what I understand, Hitler invented methamphetamine. His soldiers were on methamphetamine. That's why they could fight all day and all night, and that's why they were.
That's crazy, man.
So elite. He invented the meth. His scientists invented the methamphetamine. But you know, a lot of these people from the Nuremberg trials, and that's where they went back and convicted all these people of war crimes from Hitler's war and Auschwitz and things like that. During these Nuremberg trials, we give all these scientists and things a pass. We give them amnesty in America.
Yeah, that way they could be here.
Yeah, the way they could be here, and they're smart. And okay, well, don't persecute them for what they did, even though they did all this bad shit and helped Hitler do all this bad shit. Let's give them amnesty and bring them here so that we can use their brains to get what we can get from them.
Yeah, we need them over here.
That's crazy.
Well, like the Von Braun Center.
Like the Von Braun Center.
The Von Braun Center, half of Huntsville, is named after a known Nazi. Known 100% documented Nazi.
You got Prescott Bush, George Bush's granddaddy, helping these people. You got J.P. Morgan and these bankers financing all of it, you know, but there's no repercussions for all these people.
But it's okay. They killed all these people. We just want to go space.
Yeah.
No.
It's crazy.
I believe 100% the Holocaust happened.
I do too.
I do. Can I debate with someone on it? No, because I'm not educated on it. But I 100% believe that happened. I think a race of people was not almost exterminated, but very, very damn close to it. I think they were. And
it was genocide on the grandest scale that we've ever seen.
On this planet.
Yeah.
I don't think it should have happened. I hate that it happened, and I just can't believe for a second that it wasn't a real thing. I know that it happened. I've read about it. Also, I don't think the Indians got a fair shake either.
Hell no.
My buddy, he tells me, he says
the U.S. government we are the biggest warmongers. The United States. Like I say, I'm just like you. You know, I'm not cultish about our country. What the founding fathers stood for, I believe in. But we're the biggest warmongering country on the face of the planet.
Yep.
I mean, we're so judgy to all these people about all this genocide that they're committing. Look at the genocide we committed on the Indians.
Same thing.
We came over here and stole this land. We did the very same things. We warmonger everywhere we go. And it's just big money. You know, there's profits there to be made.
There's money in war, man.
Money in war.
There's money in war.
Weapons, guns, ammunition, death, rebuilding, central banking. Everywhere we go and we defeat, we set up a central bank. If you look at Libya, you know, they tout killing Muammar Gaddafi and how bad Gaddafi was. But if you look at Libya and the things that Gaddafi did for Libyans, they didn't pay for their housing, they didn't pay for power, they didn't pay for water. You got free education. He did that because they had such a big oil boom and they had a gold surplus. Well, what do? Oh, Gaddafi's bad. Let's go in. He's a piece of shit. Let's go in and take him down. Well, now we go into Libya and we set up a central bank. We let the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds set up a central bank. The same people that own our central bank.
What about El Chapo too?
Yeah, man. It's
like, he was a bad guy, probably killing some people, but we killed a lot more.
We are a warmongering country.
And the people over there love El Chapo.
Our government's gotten out of our hands too, as we the people.
It's not us anymore.
The people, it's not us.
It's us and them.
It is not what we think anymore, you know. Everybody talks about Vladimir Putin coming over. He's going to bomb the United States. He hates America. No, he doesn't hate America. He hates American government.
Yeah. He seems to me just very proud to be Russian.
We hate American government too. Well, we wouldn't let go on what Russia was letting go on in Ukraine.
No.
If that happened in Mexico, if America had biolabs in Mexico, or if it
happened anywhere close to us and it was our stuff, we would say heck no.
Heck no.
We would send bombs tomorrow.
We would send bombs. We'd blow them up. We'd wipe them out, just like Vladimir Putin's doing. He is protecting his border from a pedophilia ring, from a puppet president in Zelensky. He's a puppet. He's nothing more than a puppet for the United States government. That's a place for Joe Biden and Hunter Biden to wash their money.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous what we let our government.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean? What are they doing? Tell us what your thoughts are on that.
So they're setting up these biolabs. They're talking about this is where they're testing all these chemical agents, just like the COVID virus, you know. I'm a firm believer that we manufactured the COVID virus. We manufactured it in Ukraine. We shipped it to China. We let it slip out. They were using gain of function research in China. They're manufacturing these weapons over there. Hunter Biden goes over. He gets a job with
and he's like
energy
and
conglomerate.
he's doped out of his mind.
Yeah, and we give all these subsidies. Our government subsidizes all this stuff in Ukraine. It's just a way to funnel that money back to the big guy, to the American government, to the politicians that are in place. Then it's a way to funnel our tax-paying money back to them.
Yeah.
Through the puppet president Zelensky. Because if we say, oh, hey, Zelensky, we're going to set you up as president, and you elect these people as your cabinet, and we're going to give you $2 billion, but you got to give us like $500 million back. You going to do that? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. And so we start building all these bio labs over there, and finally Putin, he gets tired of it. You know, I think he's doing the right thing with Ukraine.
He's got to do what he thinks
I don't
right for
think
his
he's
country.
perfect, but nobody is.
And again, you're not saying you hate the Ukrainian people.
No, not at
You're
all.
just saying Zelensky is so. What some people see.
These government organizations
Yes.
are leading. They are doing something in the background that is immoral. It's irregular, and we, the people of any country, we don't control it anymore.
Yeah, even around here, it's different. We're
different.
So around here where we live, you're not seeing people like us get into office.
No,
It's not people
That's a
like
shame,
us.
too.
It's not people like us.
No.
It's somebody that's rich. It's some rich person. Now, people are going to get sick to their stomach about it, but I speak and dress better than every single person in this area that runs for anything.
Yeah.
So eventually, I'm going to start doing some shit. I'm going to start doing some stuff.
Look at the guy in Pennsylvania that got elected.
Yeah. What about that? Nah, I dress better than that cat, though. Well, how did he even get it, though? Hey, the Eagles are the Eagles.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. But eventually, I'm going to start doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's through the news, whether it's through running for stuff, whether it's debating people, I just know what I'm capable of. And when God puts, I think everything cool I've ever done in my life was God. I think everything dumb I've ever done in my life was me and the devil helping me.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, God puts, he puts some stuff on me and he's like, hey, do this. And he won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
When it was time to call it on
He
the
won't leave you alone because you're not listening.
Yeah. When it was time to call it on the fights. So for a long time, man, partly me, yeah, but partly also God was bugging me, man. He'd be like, nah, this is it. Do this. This right now in time, this is what you're supposed to be doing, so do it.
Yeah.
And so, man, I did it. I bumped it out and I did the best I could. And then at some point in time, I think they say God will like take stuff from you if you don't need to have it, and he'll give you stuff when you need to have it. And at some point in time, it just stopped being, I just went, okay, I've done what I can do.
Yeah.
Because like I was the only show around here. Now there's multiple shows here, and they're going to struggle for a minute because they're having a hard time with our state too.
Yeah.
I was the biggest show in the state, and I would say even the surrounding area. People would argue, but I don't see it. I preached better than anybody about my fighters. I made my fighters seem like a big deal more than anybody. I did all this stuff. I made it matter again in this state.
Yeah, you know what made that cool though is you did all that, but it wasn't bullshit.
No.
You went out to that show and it was a banging
Yes,
show.
brother, yes.
These brothers was fighting.
Yes.
They were banging. They were great fights. It was good matchups.
Yep.
You know, you were the matchmaker,
Yes.
man. They were great matchups.
And then once I did what I could do, and once things got like it was with the state, just taking all our money, not really giving us no wiggle room to do the work.
Yeah.
I said, all right. And now people are still talking about it, wondering if we're going to have fights here, wondering if other people's having trouble too.
Yeah.
There's other shows that can't afford to do a show in the state. AFL, nice people. They were supposed to have a show in February. They didn't have the money.
Yeah.
I was going to do that show in March. I didn't have enough money. It's 13 or like 15 grand before you pay anybody to do a show. That's stupid. What? And I'm going to spend 15 grand to lose what, 10? What are
To
we?
wonder if you're going to get broke into, if you're going to get shorted
Yeah.
on ticket money,
Yeah.
if you're going to get shorted on
Yeah.
whatever, you know,
and people,
because it happens.
Yeah, and people are still talking about it. So
Yeah.
it's just like, man, there's got to be some wiggle room on it. I don't think I'm ever touching it again. God might come to me in a dream tomorrow, but hey, we're doing it now. I'll be like,
yeah.
but I have
If it's
no.
what he means for you to do,
Yeah.
and you're listening to him, he's going to talk to you.
I got experience from it. I know what I'm doing now. The news, the podcast. I really, the interview we did the other day. I like that. I
Yeah.
can feel something good coming from that. Because right now we're interviewing, regular folks.
Oh, you do great stuff, man. All your stuff's good. Your podcasts are good. Your fights good. You're turning out good stuff. I mean,
Eventually, though,
where it's leading you, I don't know, but it's leading you to good stuff.
we're going to get to interview some politicians.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it's going to get a little
Man, I thought
wild.
I had one too.
Yep.
I was so close.
I called the jail this morning.
Yeah.
I wanted the quote on Eider. Now, they were nice as could be. I called the police station. They were nice as could be. I asked if I could speak to the sheriff or a
Chief of police.
or investigator or something. They said, well, they're not in right now. They'll be back Monday. I said, well, you could have been rude and you were real nice. I'm gonna call back Monday.
Yeah.
So Monday I'm gonna call. So I'm gonna start getting quotes on a lot of stuff from them.
Yeah.
And they can go one of two ways. They can refuse the quote, and I'm gonna post. Reached out to the sheriff's office for a quote, and they declined a quote, declined to give a statement, or they can give us their statement.
Yeah.
Tell us, man, give us something.
Yeah, give us something.
So we're gonna bump a
They
little
should
bit.
give you something
Yeah.
because what are they so busy doing that they can't give you something?
Well,
You know
now
what I'm saying?
now,
I've been in the jail up there in Eider, you know.
yeah.
I see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Well,
up
now
there.
they got a
I'm
new.
not saying they don't do anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of downtime going on.
Yeah, a lot. They got a new chief though, Stephen Malone.
Like him?
Stephen Malone pulled me over here one day. I was a little
Young boy?
big old boy,
Oh, no.
but young. And I'd met him at the fights a long time ago when he worked
Yeah.
for Rainsville. And he said, "Hey man," I said, "What's up, brother?" And I was in a hurry. I was aggravated. I was in pissy mood. I'm getting pulled over. I'm trying to get to work, not be late.
Yeah.
I was in pissy mood. He goes, "Hey man," I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "You know why I pulled you over?" I said, "No, man. I was an asshole."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm trying to get to work, man. I'm trying to get to work. Like I'm just trying to go work." And he pulls out his phone. He says, "See that car?" I said, "Yeah, it's my car." And he goes, "Well, why are you over the line?" And again, I'm in a shit mood, man. And I looked at it, I said, "There ain't no line on the damn road. I said, it's a back road. There's no lines." And he goes, "Well, if there was line, you'd be way over it." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess you're right, huh?" And he goes, "All right, I'll be back." And I went, "Damn, he gonna write me a damn ticket." Because I was just pissed, you know.
Yeah.
He goes back to his car, immediately comes back, man. And he goes, "Hey, man." He goes, "Didn't I meet you over in Rainsville one time at the fights and stuff?" I said, Yeah, I met you. I said, "I'm just having a rough day, man. I'm trying to get to work. It's just a shitty day. I'm about to get a ticket." He goes, "Look, man, it's cool. Chill out. Watch how you're driving. There's other people out here besides you. This is a farming road.
Yeah.
Stay on your damn side of the road. Be cool, man. We're good." He said, "Go on to work." I said, Man, I felt like an ass. He was polite as could be. Didn't write me a ticket. Sent me on my way. Just told me watch myself. You know.
That's good stuff.
A few minutes go by. He'd hit me with a Facebook request. We're friends still now. I talked to him here and there. He's the chief now at Eider. I don't know how good he's gonna do, but I think if anyone's gonna try to do good stuff, it's him. And then he's like 6'5" and yoked up,
Good.
son. So at least he's gonna be scared of some of them folks out there. And I think he seems like a good cop. Some cops are asses, man.
Oh man, I'm glad we didn't have time to touch on that subject.
Well, that's the thing. We're gonna do it again sometime.
Yeah, but I'm a very anti-cop. I probably give cops a harder time than anybody out there. And when I say what I do about Nathaniel Bates and Willie, it takes a lot for me to say those kind of things. Those are great men, and you won't hardly hear me say that about a police officer at all. To me, when somebody says they're a police officer, you automatically drop about 4 notches on what I think about you. I'm glad I got through it with you because I knew you worked at the jail when we first met.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad I looked past that.
So at the jail, they tried to indoctrinate me. Not all of them, but there was plenty of them there trying to indoctrinate me. I was the coolest person in the room.
Yeah.
I could get along with criminals. I get along with dope heads. I get along with bam, bam, bam. Anybody I need to get along with, I could do it. And because I was like that, they wasn't having me, man. They just didn't. I wasn't cool.
What completely sold me on you was the stance you came out and took when the video surfaced about the cops beating on the guy.
That was shit.
The shit.
Now, I was working there when that happened.
Your stance on that, though, you were very vocal about it. You weren't shy or private about it at all. You expressed how much bullshit it was. Yep. You were vocal about it. That changed my mind. Tell us this is a good guy.
It was partly selfish because I wanted some cops to be training because they should be. I should not be able to.
What they should do is respect our constitutional rights.
Yes.
We have constitutional rights. We're a citizen.
Yes.
You
work for us.
You work for us.
Yeah.
We have
protect and serve, not
rights.
beat the shit out of.
Yeah, that's right. We grant you your powers, and your powers are limited. Now, if we have to obey the law, then you, by God, better very well do the very same thing and stick to the letter of what you're allowed to do and not an inch above that.
No.
Just like Putin and them told NATO, not an inch to the west when they talked about Ukraine, when they talked about NATO. I feel the same way about these police officers infringing on our constitutional rights, whether it be through coercion, whether it be through lack of training because they don't get enough training, whatever the case may be.
They're not. So, like I said, partly selfish because
Yeah.
I wanted cops on mats because, like, I did believe. First off, it would have been great for us to have more people on the mats.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing to have. But second is I know a lot of the reasons that they're getting out here and freaking out when shit hits the fan, it's time to fight a person. They never felt that.
Yeah.
They ain't never felt
That's
like
right.
they ain't never.
It's stress.
Yeah, they ain't never felt nobody like we'll snatch them up and yoke them up. They ain't never felt somebody that looks like me sub them out. You know what I mean? They've never felt that. So when it's time to feel something even similar to
They feel like
God,
it takes 4 of them to get out
and
on
it doesn't, dude. Just talk to him.
That's right.
Talk to him. I fought a guy at the jail, man. Me and him, he attacked me. We got into it. I said, "Hey, man, you good?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, get the hell out of here." I had to file a report, but I didn't call like 7, 8, 9, 10 people to help
That's
me.
right.
I got him off of me. I put him up.
Yeah.
And then some of them just scumbags because I had one guy, he thought just because I had his back that he could, hey, pop the door. Well, that dude's already locked up. What do you
What are
mean?
you gonna do to him?
Yeah, what do you mean pop the door? He's locked up.
Yeah.
We're done. That's it. That's illegal.
Yeah.
But the second thing was that was 3 18-year-old kids that decided to attack basically a granddad because he wasn't 100% just mind him. He was in his handcuffs with his pants around his ankles. They beat the shit out of him. That's dog shit. What made it even worse, though, you got this cop in the background, probably a 30-year-old man who knows his job description. And he looked,
Didn't do anything.
well, I gotta go. No, motherfucker, that's your job right there.
Yeah.
That is your job. You better go correct them. That's you, boss. You're the guy.
Yeah.
And he just didn't, and it just made me sick to my belly.
I feel like we've got a lot of bad apples as opposed to a few bad apples ruining the whole basket. I think you got like a half a basket really ruining the other half.
Yeah.
And the other half can't really do anything
Yeah,
about it.
because the good cops, if they say anything, it's going to be a problem. You
There's
know
an
what I mean?
accountability
Yeah.
issue in the country. You know, I think our country has major issues, but the big, you know, we can sit here and we rant about these issues all we want to, but the questions really need to be, what do you do to change it? That's what needs to happen. Minds need to come together and come up with some solutions to this stuff, because that's where we need to get, because I love to sit around and bitch about it. You know, I can sit around and bitch all day long, but they're problems that I really want to see real solutions to. The drug problem, the government problem,
Well,
the police issues.
And
I don't know what we do.
So is it a voting thing? You know, like, there's another girl that's missing. Vicky, what's that young lady's name? What's the girl's name that's missing? The red-haired lady. Young girl, 19. It's McKenna something. I'm awful at names. McKenna something. I haven't read into all this yet, but she went missing once before. So I don't know everything about it. But she also went missing again, and she's gone. Can't nobody find her. I'm going to get to the point in a second. The other girl that just went missing that was 14 that broke out of her house to hang out with some boy that was too old, right? And is now going to get in trouble because he's black and she's white from a white area, and it's this big, huge, crazy thing, right? He's going to get in some trouble because she snuck out of her house. Should he have been talking to her? Hell no. Should she have snuck out of her house? Hell no.
He was 18 plus or no?
I don't know. I don't know. I think around probably 17, 18.
Yeah.
You know, if he'd have been a white dude, it'd have been, oh, they're just puppy loving. You know what I mean? But he's not. And it's this area. And that's the way that situation is going. He's in the wrong completely. It's going to be more so because of the skin color and stuff. There's going to be more to it than that.
That's a shame too.
Yeah, it's a shame. And so anyway, once she went missing, there was FBI at some point already brought in. There was cops looking everywhere, blah, blah, blah. The other girl, McKenna, the red-haired girl, she was looked for, I believe, from what they've told me, they looked for that girl for 8 hours.
Really? And that was it?
They quit. No, Amber Alerts quit. Extra stuff on TV quit. FBI, none of that stuff. 8 hours, called it. Nothing. Just a missing lady. The other girl, you know, from here, right here, she's rich. She got a rich family. She's a nice enough young lady. She plays sports. She's popular. So it's this big, huge, crazy thing. This other girl gets nothing. So what I'm trying to get to is it going to take a voting thing, or is it going to take just regular ass people going out and getting some stuff done?
I think it's going to take some regular ass people getting involved. You know, we as Americans, as the general populace, we don't get involved very much. Because we're so tied up with what we do with life. We're trying to live, like you're talking about. Everything keeps us down. We barely make a wage enough to keep our bills paid. We can't really afford
volume down.
We can't really afford to get involved because we've got our work life to keep our our livelihood going, to keep family function. Then you've got your family, and then you want a little bit of leisure out time that you don't have enough time to get involved in this stuff. And I think that's the biggest problem is the lack of involvement from the general populace on a whole. You know, you've got people like Kenny doing a great thing. You know, you've got random certain people, but it's not enough. You know, we don't have enough people involved. But how do you get more people involved? How do you?
We're gonna start. We're gonna reach out to some of the family of the McKenna girl, and we're gonna start talking. We're gonna go to see how much they'll talk. If they'll talk, we'll listen.
Yeah,
we'll get all the info we can. I'm packing heat all the time, just in case, because it's a crazy world.
It is,
but I'm gonna go look into it some. Well, what if what if she's like out in the woods dead somewhere?
Yeah.
What if she's been sex trafficked out somewhere? That's insane to me that it was cut off
and
so
it
fast.
happens.
That 14-year-old girl, that grown man should not have been talking to her at all.
You talk about the cutoff so fast, and
at all.
I'm
though.
not going to mention any
She should not have
names
went
here.
out the window.
No,
She should not have snuck out of her house.
absolutely.
Go ahead,
not.
I'm listening.
But you talking about cutoff so fast like that,
8 hours, which is nothing.
man?
What if it was our kids?
I'm
Listen,
not
8
gonna-
hours is what we get.
I'm not going to mention any names, but I know a local misfit, I guess you would say, in and out of jail, problems all the time. These damn police have spent months looking for this guy. Somebody you can walk into the local store up here and find in 5 minutes. That's the thing, you know.
Yes.
He doesn't have a telephone. He doesn't do the internet. Man, I can go up to find the guy in 5 minutes. He stays in the same area. These people look for him for months. They break into his house. They bust the doors in. This guy's hiding, you know, watching, laughing at them, and because they can't catch him. It's ridiculous. And he's one of those people that we talk about inside that drug system, that money system. But we'll waste that kind of man out. I mean, I've seen literally 15 cars at the guy's house before. Did they catch him then? No. He was laughing at them.
Good God.
I mean, I talked to him hours later. Hey, man, what's going on up there?
You all right?
Looking for me. Yeah. You all right? It's ridiculous that we'll waste that kind of man hours on somebody like that. But to find somebody, a 14-year-old girl that's missing, you'll spend 8 hours and then you'll shut the hunt down.
Well, now, granted, she's 17, 18, 19, but she's 19.
Okay.
But granted, she's 17, 18, 19. She's got a foster family. There's cousins that she's best friends with. Ain't heard nothing from her.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. And they're like worried to death. Now, granted, she might have just said, hey, I don't want to see none of y'all no more. But, dude, if y'all were like best buddies growing up, and they were, that's weird, man. So, Anaya, it's Anaya, right? Anaya Blanchard? Yeah. Walt Harris's wife, Angela Harris. Walt Harris is in the UFC. Big, yoked up black cat, man. Nice as can be, you know, from Alabama. Fights in the UFC. His wife is Angela Harris. Angela and him, she has a daughter named Anaya. She's around 17, 18, 19. This is a true story. Do you remember it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Around 17, 18, 19. So, Anaya lives on her own, I assume, maybe with mom and dad, but she's at least old enough to have her own car and be out and about. I think she's going to college. She goes out. They live over in Montgomery, so I think it was somewhere around there. And she goes to her gas station. She grabs her favorite candy. Right? She walks out of the gas station. This cat follows her out. This guy follows her out. Kidnaps her in the parking lot. And I'm saying this because, like, it doesn't matter if it's 12, 13, 14. This is a lady that's missing.
Yeah.
Kidnaps her in the parking lot. They look for her for days and days. People like Seth Burgett, David Elder, that whole promotion, every single person that's ever had anything to do with that fight show over in Birmingham was out looking for that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Posted to Facebook. It was a big, huge mass exodus.
Community outreach service.
Yes. And even though they done that, they still found that girl dead in the woods.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Stabbed to death, choked to death, crazy, just awful stuff.
Yeah.
I say it like that because, yeah, people should be looking for that other girl too. Because, yeah, the worst case scenario is they do find her dead.
Yeah.
At least they get some closure.
Yeah.
At least they know where she's at. At least they can have a funeral and bury her.
I agree.
And we're over here just like, it's 8 hours is done.
Yeah.
Angela Harris went on to talk like before Congress and stuff. She's been on TV. She put a law into effect called a Niles law.
I saw that.
Yes,
a
yes,
nice
brother.
law. That's
Yes.
it. Okay.
And so now people that are arrested for violent crimes, they don't get to get right out no more
Yeah.
because of a Niles law.
Mhm.
And
I voted for that. By the
yeah,
way.
should have.
Yeah, I did.
Dude, that's awesome. And
Yeah, I did
should
vote for
have.
that.
I didn't. I just haven't been out to vote. But
Oh, yeah, you
she
gotta do that.
she got.
That's
You know how they're voting for me. You know.
what they say.
They got Biden.
They got Biden.
I mean, did you vote for Biden?
No.
I mean, they're voting for us,
I work
boss.
the polls. I'm a poll worker.
I mean, he came out at he won at 3 a.m, brother.
that's
Who was
crazy.
voting? Who was voting at 3 a.m? But
Spikes in the votes. It's
yeah,
crazy.
but I say all that to say is it takes the attention
Yeah.
to it to make things happen. Because the very worst case is, because I'm going to look into it some and do what I can, walking around the woods with a shotgun. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to look.
Yeah.
The very worst case is you find that body.
But you're right. At least the family does get some closure, you know.
They get some closure.
Absolutely.
They might find some DNA on that. They might get to pass some kind of, hey, you guys only looked for 8 hours for
Yeah.
my kid. There's a lot of stuff that could be done with it. And I just think there's not enough stuff done.
There's better uses of funds that could happen. And I mean, we're basically sitting here being backseat quarterbacks right now.
They bought a helicopter.
They did. You know what they did with that too? They chased Jared Haggard in Happy Holler with it.
No, they did.
That was great, man. He's running from him on a four-wheeler. He got away too if his tires hadn't went flat. It's ridiculous. I'm talking about FBI. You had 2 different counties. You had the helicopter.
And he had what,
Yeah.
a quarterback of
Yeah,
dope?
man. Quarterback of dope, something stupid like that.
Yeah. They couldn't go look over the woods in Valley Head for that
it's
girl's
ridiculous.
body.
You're
and
talking
everything.
about interagency communication because you're talking about different states. You had
Yeah.
Georgia, Alabama interagency. You had 3 different counties. You had the FBI. You had this helicopter running around Happy Holler on Sand Mountain. It's friggin' ridiculous. What a joke.
Yeah, that's
What
insane.
a joke.
Go to Valley Head, look in them woods, try to
Yeah.
find that little girl.
Yeah, get your ass out there. Get some of these fat asses that are sitting down there and need a freaking little PT anyway. If you're over 250 pounds and you're 40% fat and the rest muscle, get your ass out there and go to walking.
Yeah, go walk around the woods and see what you can find.
Tub of lard.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff.
Kevin, that's been an hour and a half, boss. It's
Hey,
been
we
a
gotta
fun
go, man.
combo. Brother man, where are you at in 5 years? What are you doing?
I'm retiring.
Retiring in 5 years.
Done.
I would like for you to also set me up so I can retire in 5
You
years.
got it.
Heck yeah, man. You got a great family. I love what you're doing. I love your family so much. It's awesome to see what you're doing. I look forward to learning more about the fiber splicing. I think I love being around you, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
The food's good. The beer's cold.
That's good
I
stuff.
enjoy being
That's
around
good
you, man.
stuff, ain't it?
I love you to death. That
Yeah,
turned into
absolutely.
a good conversation, man.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, we'll do some more sometime. I love you, buddy.
Peace out.